I call Joe Hayes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I'm pleased to stand and take a call on the New Zealand Flag Referendums Bill, our first reading. And yes, rather entertaining from across the way over there. You know, talking about the flag, and you know, this is the time for you, Mr O'Rourke, to perhaps put your mailbox with a flag emblem on it for consideration, because I know that that's exactly what you would like to do in saying this. The National Party, when we came into government, we made a commitment that we would hold a binding referendum on the New Zealand flag. That's what we said we were going to do, and we are committed to doing that, Mr Speaker. We're determined to have this flag debate, and we are determined to have this referendum. So let's start looking at everything that's been said in the House today. I was quite entertained when the member, Mr Goff, turned around and said in this House today that our Prime Minister, John Key, was having this flag debate because he wanted for it to go down in history as one of his key things to do as a Prime Minister. But he forgets that, you know, the thing that our Prime Minister will go down in history, one of the many things, will be that he wiped the floor in 2011 with Phil Goff at that election when we won it. So that's one of the many things that he will go down in history for in his success as our Prime Minister. So, Mr Speaker, I just want to look at our flag, because I want to say that, you know, there's been a long history that we have in this country of flags, changing flags, using flags, having flags. There is. My grandfathers, I had two grandfathers that were in the Māori Pioneer Battalion. They went to war in the Māori Pioneer Battalion in World War I. And yes, they went in under the Union Jack, but when they came back, King George designed a flag to give to the Māori Pioneer Battalion, but they weren't recalled, and it was called the King's Colours. And it was designed, and on it had big areas of red things that recognised, a red colour that recognised the blood that was shed in that First World War. So, you know, when you start to talk about that, that's when I am reminded about that Māori Battalion Pioneer flag. It was one of 13 flags that was awarded to units of the NZEF of the First World War. But unfortunately, the King's Colour flag wasn't consecrated, presented or paraded because the Māori Pioneer Battalion wasn't recalled, as I said. So we had to wait. It went into storage, Mr Speaker. It went into storage by the last commander of the battalion. And in 1939, his wife, his widow, presented the King's Colours to the Minister of Native Affairs back then, hoping it would be used for the 28th Māori Battalion. Now, if you look at a few articles around that, you will find that flag was laid in the museum until 1988, when the last commander of the 28th Māori Battalion, Sir James Henry and others, looked for it and brought it back. And it was consecrated in 1993. This is all relevant to a flags referendum. It is all relevant. Look at your speaking notes, Mr O'Rourke, if you have any. We're lucky to have one. Then I start looking at, let's have a look at the Māori flag, okay? The Confederation of Tribes. In 1834, 25 chiefs from the far north were called to Waitangi.
Point of order, James Shaw, point of order.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, I'm having real trouble hearing the member who is speaking at the moment, and I wonder if you could ask the House to quieten down a little.
Well, I'm a judge of that. So long as I can hear... So long as I can hear what is being said, I'm the judge of that. But I do ask that the barracking across the cross benches should be lower than that, and I'm asking Joe Hayes to continue.
She had a nerve with the letterboxes, eh?
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I don't like yelling in the House either, to be heard. So, as I say, in 1834, 25 chiefs from the far north gathered in Waitangi to choose a flag to represent New Zealand, and this flag was actually initiated by James Busby. Are we all listening? It included, at that meeting, there were 10 British commanders, so it just wasn't 25 chiefs sitting at the table. There were 10 British commanders and 3 American ships that also attended, personnel that attended that occasion. And so the 25 chiefs, they chose, of the designs, they chose the Methodist one, which became the flag of the United Tribes of New Zealand. And everybody knows that because it's on a white backing. The Union Jack, as we all know, came into being post-signing the Treaty of Waitangi, yet we still keep that United Confederated flag for the iwi. Mr. Speaker, New Zealand uses 6 other flags we use. We have the Queen's personal flag, we use the Governor-General's flag. These are all for occasions, Mr. O'Rourke. We use the New Zealand Red Ensign, which was adopted in 1903 for merchant ship. These are all flags that signal great things that have happened in the history of this country and its development. We use the New Zealand White Ensign, which is the British one. We use the Royal New Zealand Air Force Ensign and the New Zealand Civic Air Ensign. Then, of course, there's the plethora of flags that iwi use. I'm from the Wanganui River, and when I go up into Ngātirangi, and you want to see the plethora of flags that they fly. These are the flags, and some of them have the little ensign that shows that, you know, of British rule, but most of them are ensigns that represent their history. So this is very important to them as well. What I also want to say, Mr. Speaker, that my grandfathers, yes, they fought under two flags. They did do that. But I can stand here and argue that they wouldn't have refused to fight because of the colour of the flag, the shape of the flag. They went over there because they represented this country. They fought for our freedom. That's what they fought for. They fought for our freedom so our grandchildren can live in a world that is peaceful. That's what I can say, and there is nobody in this House or outside this House that would refuse to do that because of that debate over this flag today. No, they wouldn't. As I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, this whole debate around, you know, the debate around the flag, this is a good debate. It's a referendum that this government said we would do, and we are doing it. We are doing it. We are listening. We will be listening. And it is all laid out within the bill. And Mr. Mark, you can sit over there and you can say no, but we will be listening. I'm sure that if my grandfathers were alive today, they would be there. They would be saying to me, mokopuna, make sure that when we have this flag, that when an Australian Prime Minister goes overseas, that he's not welcomed by a flag that is New Zealand's flag, because people can't tell the difference between the Australian flag and the New Zealand flag. And that was actually, it was written up in the media. That's what happened. We want a flag that is representative of all of us, and it is going to be the people's choice on how we do that and how that happens, Mr. Speaker. I mean to say, you know, it is shameful when another Prime Minister goes into a foreign country and that country has the New Zealand flag to welcome him. So when you sit here in this House and say everybody knows our flag, they don't know our flag. We need a flag that resembles who we are, what everybody in this world can see, that we are Kiwi, we are the silver fern, we are all of those things. We need a flag whereby it goes up into, it is raised and it will send chills up people's spines. It will bring tears to those not only watching the flag go up, but those that are watching them. That's the type of flag we need. We need a flag that tells the world that we are Aotearoa New Zealand. That's what we need. We need a flag where we can all stand proud and nobody in the whole globe is going to be confused over where it comes from. When I listen to the member in Greens talk about the Canadian maple leaf, everybody knows that. That's the type of thing we need so people of this globe know where we come from. They need to know that that flag represents people that are strong, independent, believe in freedom. That's the type of flag we're looking at, and we need a flag that represents New Zealand pure, because that's what we are. Ake, 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 amene, I tell you now. In closing, Mr Speaker, I strongly urge all New Zealanders to take the opportunity to participate in this referendum. Don't sit back, participate in it, have your say, because that's what we've asked for. We committed to that as a government, and we are going to continue to drive that. Mr Speaker, I am very proud to stand here today and commend this bill to the House, and I also urge everybody throughout Aotearoa New Zealand watching this debate, please participate. Kia ora.
The next call is